This means that psychoactive illnesses, illnesses of, the brain chemistry, are on the rise. Well, what could possibly be causing this? Statin drugs, among other things, right? Plus fat-free diets, plus not enough raw materials for the central nervous system to function the way that nature intended it to. The greater question that needs to be asked here is, what is causing so many people to need psychoactive medication? And from our point of view, the main nutrients involved with funky, for lack of a better word, brain chemistry, minerals, trace minerals. There are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs to function optimally, 90. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids. The lion's share are minerals. And things like calcium, selenium, zinc, sulfur, right? And then strange, peculiar trace minerals like europium and vanadium and chromium and molybdenum that most people have never heard of. The body needs minerals in order to have healthy, optimized brain function, right? I mean, it needs minerals for everything. Linus Pauling, 2-time Nobel Prize winner, Linus Pauling. One of his most famous quotes was, "You can trace every chronic disease back to a mineral deficiency." A mineral deficiency. So the funny thing about minerals is, and this is one of my specialties, this is one of the areas of medical nutrition that I know a lot about and have tons of clinical experience with. Minerals are only found in the soil. Animals cannot make minerals. Plants cannot make minerals, right? If plants could make minerals, we could bioengineer lettuce to make gold, right? We'd all be rich. But a cow's body can't make calcium. Well, where does a cow get calcium from? Well, a cow gets calcium from eating grass that was grown in soil in which there was calcium. Now, if there's no calcium in the soil, or 10% of what should be there, there's going to be no calcium in the cow's body, or only 10%, and so forth and so on. It all goes back to the soil. Because the soil is minerally deficient, our bodies are minerally deficient. And this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because of 2 things. Number one, modern agricultural methods have removed the bacteria that are in the soil. The bacteria that are in the soil digest the minerals that are in the soil, and then the plants suck up the digested minerals, and then we eat the plant, right? Okay. So because of modern agricultural methods with pesticide use, extreme pesticide use, the soils, the bacteria that live in the soils are being killed, so even if the minerals are in the soil, which they're not, the bacteria aren't present to digest them, and the plant is going to be minerally deficient. If the plant is minerally deficient, guess what? The farmer eats, the plant is weak. So the farmer needs to use more pesticides to put on the plant to keep the bugs from eating it, because they don't want to lose the crop. So it's a vicious circle. It leads to more and more and more and more and more and more pesticide use, and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker food. Now, also, when you harvest nutritionally deficient plants, they taste like crap. So what does the food industry have to do to get you to eat them? Put sugar in with the food. This is one of the reasons why sugar consumption has gone up, I don't know, like 800%. It's crazy how much sugar we eat here. And it's not because of the sugar industry is out to destroy humanity. It's because the food tastes like crap. Why does the food taste like crap? Because it's grown in minerally deficient soil, period. So everybody's bodies are becoming more and more and more and more minerally deficient as we go further and further in time. Now, when you combine bad farming processes, which are snowballing into extreme mineral deficiencies, with one other thing, people's bodies get mineral deficiencies accelerate to a tremendous degree. Whole grains. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats contain gluten. Gluten is a protein. A protein is a long chain of amino acids. It's like a string of pearls. And it's the stomach's job to break that string of pearls, liberate the individual amino acids, which are essential nutrients. But the chemical bonds which hold the amino acids of gluten together are really, really difficult for most people's stomach acid to break. So if you eat a whole wheat sandwich, you chew it up, you swallow it, it goes down into your stomach, and the acid in your stomach tries to break the string of pearls of the protein in the gluten, but it can't do it. So now, instead of individual amino acids tumbling through the small intestine, which is the next stage of digestion, you get these big, complicated architectural strings of proteins, undigested protein. Now, your small intestine's job is to absorb the nutrients that your stomach has just turned into liquid into the bloodstream. And your small intestine does that through tiny tissue called villi. They're like octopus arms. And the job of the villi is to grab onto a nutrient and bring it into the bloodstream, right? Well, when the villi attempts to grab onto an individual amino acid, no problemo. But when the villi attempts to grab onto a long, complicated chain of unbroken amino acids, they become destroyed or they become inflamed. Now, it's the villi's job to absorb nutrients, which leads to one of life's greatest ironies. The more whole grains you eat, the harder it is for your body to absorb the nutrients that your stomach just digested. So not only are the foods minerally deficient because the soils are minerally deficient, but your body's ability to absorb what little nutrition there is in the food is extremely compromised because you listened to General Mills, Procter & Gamble, Monsanto, and the people that make the food. It's a bad idea to let the people who make the food give you advice about what food to eat. 4 of the most dangerous foods on planet Earth: wheat, barley, rye, and oats. My recommendation for everybody 100% across the board: stop eating these foods completely for 4 weeks in a row. 4 weeks. 4 weeks in a row. 28 days. Then on day 29, eat a lot of gluten. Have pancakes for breakfast, have a sandwich for lunch, have cookies and crackers, have pasta for dinner, and see how you feel. And as God is my witness, if you make it to lunch without something bad happening, I'll eat my hat. This is one of the most overlooked net negative health things in the country right now. This is a deadly combination of not enough minerals in the food, period, and then interrupting your body's ability to absorb what little nutrients there are. And this is why chronic diseases are accelerating, like autism, right? We believe autism is caused by bad nutrition in the blood of the pregnant mother. As the fetus is developing, it needs raw materials to make a brain, make a heart, make a liver, make a kidney. You can't make that out of pixie dust and air. The body needs 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids. But they're not in the blood of the mother because she's eating whole wheat cereal and skim milk and margarine and is avoiding salt like the plague. So from the proper perspective, with all of the data points, it all starts to make sense.